So it just says orientation, and it's good like that, right? Press live, and it just gave me that. Normally it gives you the countdown, but it didn't give me anything. You can start it.
Shalom. Before we start, we're going to face the east. Give all glory, honor, and praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash.
Yahweh, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father, who the world calls God. His name means He exists. Yahushai, who the world even calls Jesus Christ. His name means He saves, He delivers. Double honors to our elders and apostles, a great millstone, who teach and rule well. Peace, blessing, and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad, teaching His word in truth and sincerity. You have the Hebrew Israelites, GMSVegas Nevada branch. We come week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom, Babylon the Great, which is America, and to warn our people that's on this sign, the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They are the Israelites of the scriptures. And it's high time to wake out of sleep, for salvation is nearer than what we believe, right? So the Lord died for the blood to be shed for the children of Israel and nobody else. Right, so we warn the people, you know, week in and week out, that these things are going to occur. These different destructions are going to occur. Right, so what happened this week? There was it 6 earthquakes that happened in the span of 24 hours. Right, Venezuela, 7.5, 7.2, and an earthquake that size haven't happened in 100 years, right, a century. Right, so that's very, you know, it's prophetic. You know, and also I seen the elders' video. They're worshiping Oshun. Some deity, some African deity, right? Yep. And it's heavy in the Black conscious community, right? So the Lord is fed up with the idolatry in the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom. You know, you had one in Japan, you had another one in Northern California, right? So the Lord is getting busy. Somebody get Matthew 24:3.
It's Matthew 24 verse 3, and it reads, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
The world, that word world in the Greek, it goes into aeon or age, right? So we know Esau, Edom, he rules this age right now. This is his world. A second Esdras 6 and 9 says Esau is the end of the world, but Jacob is the beginning that follow it. So they're asking, when is the kingdom of heaven going to be ushered on the earth, right?
Continue in verse 4, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Mashiach, and shall deceive many.
You have a lot of false prophets coming in today's time that speak damnable heresies, right?
Verse 5, it's like in verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
Right, you see that's going over right there in the Middle East. Iran, Israel, right? Ukraine, Russia, right? So you have all these things occurring. That's a part of the signs that the Lord told us to look out for.
See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes.
Oh, the pestilences. I think the West Nile was spotted in Vegas. Mosquitoes, yeah, spotted in Vegas. That's a pestilence. There's many more pestilences going to come in these last days.
I'll say something right quick. The day it comes out that there's West Nile infected mosquitoes in Vegas, why it rain? Quick shower, just enough to bring the mosquitoes and let them fester and breathe in the little pools of water where they like to breathe at. So if you got those types of pools, the wisdom will tell you to remove that from around you. Don't be around them too often, so you don't get caught up in that. You gotta also use wisdom with this thing, okay?
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places.
Earthquakes in diverse places. This is what we're seeing right now. All these earthquakes is happening in diverse places. You know, throughout these different regions, man. The Lord is sending these earthquakes as signs. You know, it's about to be the end, right?
All these are the beginning of sorrows.
Right, so these things are going to get worse and worse as a woman that travails. When a woman travails, the birth pains get worse and worse until the woman is ready to be delivered. The baby is ready to be delivered.
All right, this is Luke 12, and I'll start here at verse 54. And it reads, and he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower, and so it is. And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time?
Right, so you can tell the carnal things. You know, you can see when the weather is about to change, when the summer is coming in, by the buzz bringing forth, right? But when the Lord comes back, he has certain signs that he's going to put on the earth that's going to declare that too, right?
Yep. I'm going to read the NLT real quick. This is verse 56. It says, you fools, you know how to interpret the weather signs of the earth and sky, but you don't know how to interpret the present times.
Right? You have to have that eyesight to see that, because most of our people, they're not worried about the things that are going on earth. You know, if it's not affecting them directly, they don't care about it. But guess what? The Lord gave us the signs, so the prophets are going to bring it out. The prophets are going to tell the people what's going on, warn the people. Right? We're watchmen to the house of Israel.
There's a Sirach 36 at the top. Have mercy upon us, O Lord Yahweh of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. Lift up thy hand against the strange nations, and let them see thy power. As thou wast sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us. And let them know thee, as we have known thee, that there is no power but only thou, O Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Show new signs, and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they...
If I can add, right? It said, make them know thee how we know thee. How do we know the Lord?
The power, man.
Through the wonders, the power, the judgments.
Yeah, that's the one I was cursing, the judgment.
The terror, man. He's the king of terrors. See, the Lord hasn't fully opened up to the world yet. These disastrous events that we're seeing on the earth are just little light taps. The Lord ain't really fully balled his fist yet.
Right.
You know?
He flipping on you.
Yeah. Yeah, real quick. This is to add to what that said. This is Deuteronomy 4 and verse
Further down.
yeah, further down. Deuteronomy 4 and 29. It says, but if from thence thou shalt seek the Lord thy power, thou shalt find him, if thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul. When thou art in tribulation and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days, if thou turn to the Lord thy power and shalt be obedient unto his voice, for the Lord thy power is a merciful God, he will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he swore unto them. For ask now of the days that are past, which were before thee, since the day that the Most High created man on earth, and ask from the one side of heaven unto the other, whether there have been any such thing as this great thing is, or have been heard like it. Did ever people hear the voice of the Most High power speaking out of the midst of the fire, as thou hast heard and lived? Or have the Most High essayed to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation, by temptations, by signs, and by wonders, and by war, and by a mighty hand, and by a stretched out arm, and by great terrors, according to all that the Lord your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes. That's all to add to what you just read. You know, back in Sirach the 36th chapter. We known the Lord by these strange wonders that the Lord was able to do. You know, that's what put him above the gods of these other nations, man.
I got something to add what you're saying, because it's the other side of that. As we've had these wonders on our behalf, good and bad. This is Ezra asking about how come you love us and you show us all this when you gonna show them? Right? This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Let's start at 57, straight to the point. It says, and now, O Lord Yahweh, behold, these heathen have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? So as you're going in, as you're seeing this, it's like, dang, are we not your chosen? That's why these Christians have that angle. God loves everybody because He's punishing a certain people. So nobody's looking at the punishment as the sign. That's why we cry for what you were saying when you go back. Hey, show them the terror and the works that you showed against us.
That's that Malachi.
We're trying again. Like the elect are trying, the 2/3, to hell with them. But for now anyway, but we're at least trying. You know, work your power on our behalf.
Scripture say, you only have I known out of all the people of the earth, therefore I'll punish you for all your iniquities. Right, so we understand the judgment of Yahweh Shai because we did wicked, we was under the curse. Right, so the Lord put the judgments on us. But the Lord is going to pour those judgments on the other nations soon, right?
I may say, knowing how the Heavenly Father is, He goes to the extreme on both ends. He'll go to the extreme to punish us, and He'll also go to the extreme to defend us, protect us. That's the relationship He has with his chosen.
What's the proof? It will, for example, the elder brought up the account of Egypt, right? When we understand the 10 plagues, they only affected the Egyptians while Israel was fine in the land of Goshen. But then take a look at when Jake went into the wilderness. Hey, that punishment that they were getting due to their disobedience. So that's just a balance, right? A duality of the Lord protecting His chosen versus the heathen, versus Jake being disobedient and then feeling the wrath of Yahweh Shimon Shah.
And the same people that walked out ended up getting swallowed up.
Right.
And they were getting blessings. Anyway,
It's back in Sirach 36. I'm reading 5 down. It says, and let them know thee as we have known thee, that there is no power but only thou, O Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Show new signs and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand.
Because apparently these old signs ain't moving y'all enough. Earthquakes ain't doing it for y'all. Storms and landslides and brush fires and wildfires ain't enough.
Yeah, how do we know? The behavior hasn't changed.
Plagues, the 19 wasn't enough.
Yep.
All the bodies we're watching coming out of Venezuela ain't enough. The bodies they said that were stacked up. We know there was bodies of people that fell off after the 19, whether from the JV or from the day itself. We know that the people been dropping. How much more? What other signs do you need?
It says, show new signs and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm.
If I can make one more point, just back to you, brother. Just like when the Lord started to perform these miracles and wonders on Egypt, it was because we was at the end of our punishment, or the end of our captivity. That prayer resonates now because we're at the end of our captivity again, under modern Pharaoh, which is Edom. So the Lord's getting ready to show new signs and strange wonders again. But this time he's gonna divinely protect His elect. Not all of our people are gonna be protected this time because the Lord got to put belt to ass to 2/3 of our people as well. Right?
Show new signs and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works. Raise up indignation and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. Save the time short. Remember the covenant and let them declare thy wonderful works. Let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire, and let them perish that oppress the people. Smite in sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say, there is none other but we. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together, and inherit thou them as from the beginning. O Lord, have mercy upon the people.
Hey, hold on. It said smite the heads.
Yes, smite in sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say, there is none other but we.
That kind of make me think back to how it said that Amalek would be the first of the nations. And when you look up that word first in the Hebrew, I believe the word is Ra'ashia, if I'm not mistaken. Ra'ashia. It basically means head or chief. And Esau, he's the end of the world, so that would mean that he would be at the top of the hierarchy of the ruling class of the world. And they're the ones that's saying, we are and none else. You look at their attitude, you look at their actions, you look at their agendas. They're literally saying it's all about us and our agenda. They're trying to rewrite the natural order. They're saying that the order described in the book of Genesis, the first chapter, we got to redo that. So they're saying that they are. So hey, that's a prophet. That's a prayer for the Lord to actually take action against what these devils are trying to do. That's why it says in Psalms the 2nd chapter, why do the heathen rage? Why do they all imagine a vain thing? Because they're really, it's like they're insulting the majesty of our Lord, man. Because he's omniscient, he's omnipotent and omniscient, and it's like they're trying to undermine that. So that prayer is about the Lord basically pulling up and showing that He's the true power, man, and not these puffed up heathens that the Lord got ruling for a season, a period of time. Right? So it's back to you.
It says the Lord rules in the kingdom of men. So He set up Esau to oppress our people for a time because our people were going off. Like I said, He sent the heathen to punish us. But now the Lord is going to take the punishment off of Israel. He's going to put it on the heathens. So that's what we're seeing right now, the destruction of Esau and Edom's kingdom and these different nations ruling over Israel.
I'll read it again. It's Sirach 36:10. I'll read down. Smite in sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say there is none other but we. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together, and inherit thou them as from the beginning. And you see that they're raising up now, as you were saying, right? Ezekiel 37 chapter. Now, continuing, it says, gather all the tribes of Jacob together, and inherit thou them as from the beginning. O Lord, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name, and upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn. O be merciful unto Jerusalem, thy holy city, the place of thy rest.
Meaning it's just referring to us as his people, as a particular people. Like I read, hey, are we your chosen? Have mercy on us and show them the power that you showed us. Do some new shit. Show them that who you really are. Like we get to see it. Hey man, you are the lady walking around, you see Jake out here on the streets, you see how bugged out our people are? Hey, let the heathen taste some of that, man. Not just us in the 2/3 feel it, man. What the heathen gonna get to feel this? Where's the benefit of being your son? You're chosen. Well, guess what? We got a side of it to play in it. Okay? Man, we need to start acting like we are the sons of God. Alright? And then he can start moving on our behalf.
Yeah, that's like when we come out here and we pronounce the names of the Father and the Son, and attribute all the things happening in the world, and all the different signs and wonders. We're heralds of the Lord. So when you're a herald, that means that you're introducing, You're pretty much announcing. You're rolling out the carpet.
Like John the Baptist.
That's all we're doing. You know,
Setting the stage.
setting the stage, man. And I got one right after you. Back.
Sirach 36:14. Fill Zion with thy unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory.
That's part of it, right? I'm sorry. That's part of it, of us playing our part in this, as I was saying a moment ago. We got to fill us with give us the Holy Spirit so we can go out here and prophesy unto our people so they can learn how to get in line. Like it says in Isaiah 58 chapter at the top. Hey, so they can get corrected, they know where to come, they know how to come to the altar and present themselves to give up sacrifice when they come here. Okay? And we can do for ourselves as well here. All right? This is what the Heavenly Father delights in. Now, okay, y'all, are you sorry for what you done? Okay. Well, I'll look at I'll start seeing what you're really working with. I'll see what I can have to, lighten the load.
And that's a part of the Lord showing mercy is by giving the wisdom and knowledge to our people again through the Spirit, right? Because it says, "My people have been destroyed for a lack of knowledge." So for a time, we didn't have no understanding. We were dry bones. Now we get the wisdom and knowledge. That's the Lord showing mercy to us.
Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name. And like the brother was just saying, man, ultimately that exceeding great army standing upon their feet. And it says what? It says give testimony. Hey, I got a quick precept for that. Revelation 19:10, and it reads, and you got it, bro. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy.
Right? You're going to be in the spirit of prophecy if you have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. And that's what the men of the Lord have. They have that they have the testimony, they have the prophecies. They tell you what's going to occur before it happens. The Christian church don't have that. They ain't telling you about the prophecies. They ain't going into the end times and telling you what's going to occur and what's going to happen in the last days. Right? So they don't have that testimony. But we do here.
Going to that word testimony is G3141. It says marturia. It says a testifying, the office committed to the prophets of testifying concerning future events, the testimony before a judge, the record or the report, the evidence that is given.
We give a report of world events. We give a report of who the devil is, the wicked in the earth. We give a report of our own people. We give a report of what the Most High is going to do. And if we don't get right in these fashions, so we give a report of also what he's looking for.
God, the root word of that is martyr.
Yeah.
It says G3144. Can't make that up either. 3144, man. The martyrs. It says the witnesses of a legal or historical sense. It says those who, after his example, Yahweh have proved the strength and genuineness of their faith in Yahweh Shai by undergoing a violent death.
Revelation 20:4. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, and for the word of the Most High, which had not worshipped beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands.
Yeah, those are those that were faithful to death, man. They understanding that they would be risen, as the scriptures say that then Yahweh Shai shall arise first. They understand that their death, they understand the process of death, knowing that, that's not the end all be all. It's just the transformation of these physical bodies, and the spirit ultimately returning back unto Yahweh who gave it, man.
Especially during these times, because it's the last captivity. So, it ain't like, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, well, okay, you die, you come back, nah, this is it.
I wasn't gonna say, I'm gonna let it cook me. Just to add it to that same exact point. Hey, we're in hell and only going further, deeper into hell. So if you're in a nightmare and you wake up and your reality is, bad, which is worse, So yeah, we want to wake us up out of this nightmare. So so we can move on. This thing is terrible. So take us up out of here and let our works be righteous. You know, that we may be judged as a martyr, as a positive.
Kind of land back and understanding that with the apostles, it's like what John the Revelator seen, was the beheading of the prophets in these days, man. Speaking of this revitalized Roman Empire, man.
You did have martyrs in the time of the Romans, but that wasn't the end.
The beast system was in full effect in this one.
I'm gonna add, okay, let me ask one of y'all brothers. Who was one of the martyrs, one of his faithful martyrs mentioned that John the Revelator made mention of?
I'll give you a hint.
Just throwing it out there. Who was one of the martyrs that John actually mentioned in his letter? You know, he wrote to the seven churches. One of the churches, he was giving the pros and cons on each church, where they were getting praised at, and where they were lacking at, and they needed some rebuke or critique. But so one of the churches, he mentioned a particular man who was a martyr. Anybody know who that man was? What his name was?
Stephen?
No, that's in the Acts. That's before then. I'm talking about John the Revelator in the book of Revelation. I honestly think that this is something that brothers should know.
By one of those scriptures that you kind of right by a familiar scripture, I should say.
He mentioned him by name.
Yeah.
Who his martyr
He
was.
called him a faithful
Yeah.
martyr.
Revelation 2.
Yep. Says that.
Antipas. Antipas. Yeah. Over in Pergamum or Pergamos. Okay. He was persecuted because he had the testimony. He taught Yahushua in a place where it was you had to worship emperor and whatever God that they said you're supposed to worship. So if you was preaching Yahushua in that time and in that region, then you was liable to be punished by death. And how did they punish him? How was he executed?
It's a horrific death. No, worse than that. That's easy compared to what he had to go through. No.
That's why it's as important to go into the history as you read the scriptures. We don't read the scriptures like it's a novel. We got to go into the history too. You can read the Josephus. You can read, the different historians who kept records of this time period. What did you say, bro?
They burned him inside of the bull.
Brazen bull. That's what they did to him.
And they say, like in history, they say that's like one of the most gruesome deaths you can have because you're being cooked alive. And you screaming, and the smoke from your body being burned is coming through the nose of the bull, and it sounds like the bull is alive, he's screaming. But hey, at the end of the day, he didn't like they just rolled out the bull. He knew what the bull was, because he probably wasn't the first one to go through it, but he still was faithful until the end.
His name was written there because he was faithful unto death. He's showing you that he's one of the elect, man.
Right.
He has an honorable name. He's spoken of as a martyr.
And That's a Greek name. That's like my father. It's a Greek name, so it wasn't no heathen. That was Israelite. You know?
I'm really like the account is it honey? I think they put him like person in the bull.
Oh, that's immortals.
Immortals, yeah. It was like the bull. I'm thinking that's what like pretty much boiled him alive, Mark. Cooked him. Man.
You do the history, you look at all the deaths of the apostles, with the exception of John the Revelator, all of them died excruciating deaths. Yeah. Some of them they filleted, some of them they crucified upside down, some of them got like pierced with arrows. It was
like they had that little firing squad.
Yeah.
Look at this administration. You know, motherfucker set up alligator Alcatraz. He brought back the firing squad.
Smart guillotine.
The smart guillotine. Then we were talking about the smart guillotine. Yeah, hollow point bullets.
Dumping bodies, the airplanes.
They got the coffins that can fit 10 people in them. What about that?
You gotta know what you're doing. Hey, this is life and death. And Esau come right now and try to torture me. But it ain't time right now. So we gotta prophesy.
I also want to bring up the last right there. That's why Peter was like, where else will we go? You hold the keys of life. The end of this thing, if anybody that's not involved in this, it's not looking good, man. Not you know, I'm saying it really lightly, but like it's gonna get bad. Okay? If you're not in this, death is the only thing at the end of the tunnel. And torture. And just punishment is the only thing at the end of this tunnel if you're not of the elect. Okay? That's the baseline of this truth.
And this is why, our apostles stress the bitter, man. Because you have a lot of Israelite groups who are stressing to their congregation, men and women, hey, that this is something that you have to prepare your mind for. Regardless if the Lord directly allows you to go through, that point of torture, guess what? Your mind is supposed to be set on point that you're going through it, man.
Didn't a member of the IUIC say that he didn't learn about the bitter till he began to follow GMS?
Yeah.
Somebody in the comment section.
Okay, comment section, yeah.
This is part of it, man.
Preaching about the straight gate.
Mm-hmm.
We're the main ones that do that, man. We go into the bitter. A lot of people don't want to hear it. That's why they'll enter in at the wide gate. The people that represent the wide gate, they're here to make merchandise. They're here to get you comfortable,
Make a name for themselves.
make a name, get the approval of men.
And if I may, at best, they just teach you entry-level Hebrew Israelite. It's just entry-level. That's cool. Okay, you from a respective tribe. You know that you might not even get the name out of some of these groups. But that's kind of what you get out of them. And then you come to where you really want to be edified, to where you can actually have wisdom to endure all the way through with the Holy Spirit.
Some of these guys be setting themselves up trying to bait the enemy, man. Giving their number, changing information. You setting yourself up, man.
It says, through my tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom. And so we got to go through it on the side, man. We're under a curse anyways, the curse is not going to fully be off of us into the kingdom of heaven. So we have to go through it the whole time until, the Lord beams up his elect. Then we won't have to go through the curse, the calamities and all the things we go through here, our flesh, fighting our flesh. We don't have to go through that in the kingdom of heaven. We must fight in these last days, right? We have to fight, we have to go through it. That's a part of the kingdom. That's part of the walk in his ministry.
I got you. It's Second Esdras. The book of Second Esdras, chapter 7, verse 7. It says, the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. Yep. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. Because for their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils, and very painful.
That's why it's so important that we teach about that. I just told you right there, and then we know somebody get the one in Acts 14.
14:22.
Yeah. You know? How do you miss this part of the book? This is important for you to know. You gotta.
It says, for the entrances of the elder world were wide and short, and brought immortal fruit. If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. Yeah. Hebrews 4 says, let us now labor to enter into that rest. So this labor is not going to be an easy labor. Right? It says,
we effed up too.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't perfect.
We got to do it. We got to do this against the interests of ourselves.
Yeah.
We got to do it, like I said in 2 Timothy, in season, out of season. Inconvenient.
Yep.
When it's not convenient. You know, through you know, battling the elements. You know, fighting yourself.
You heard Apostle yesterday when he said, "Man, I ain't."
Yeah, he said he didn't want. He said he wanted to chill.
Chill, yeah.
He wanted to chill.
I know brothers be feeling like that sometimes.
Feeling like that, man. Like,
you done worked all
chill,
week,
man.
and he like, but at the end of the day, we fear the Lord. So we thinking like, if I don't go out here,
you can't chill the same.
Yeah.
You can chill about 60%, but you're never gonna get comfortable.
Nah,
once you done the work, then you're like, okay, I can kick my feet all the way up. You know?
It's like in the kingdom, we're gonna be able to kick off because we're gonna be able to say, what is it? What did Apostle Paul say? I ran my finished my course. It's like, damn, I didn't put it all out there.
Yeah, we doing this knowing that there is a rest for us. It's gonna be everlasting rest. So right now, while we still here, and the Lord is utilizing us, and we just gotta work. And on top of that, the attitude we have is we're unprofitable servants. Because the Lord, He did what He did for us, and that really placed us under the servitude because of that sacrifice that He made. You know?
I wanna funny, I was watching the video and I was listening to it, walking around doing stuff, and then another video came in. It was Michael Jordan's flu game. Okay? And then the person narrating made a very good point about it. It was 97, if anybody knows the game. It's just for you to understand the mentality, okay? Game 5, excuse me, is tied 2-2. This is a pivotal game to win, okay? But he was sick with like food poisoning or however he was sick, you know, however that goes. But the point was, he understood, I gotta play and play well now. Because I'll never hear the end of it if we lose. I'll never hear the end of it. I gotta play through all the BS and all how I feel. I'll feel better another 97. I'll feel better another day. But I gotta play through this. The same thing with us. We gotta endure all this BS and get through it, no matter what's against us. Just keep fighting and keep going and keep going and keep going, doing our best to put it out there. Because if we don't, we're never gonna hear the end of this. Trust me, to come out here and do all this work, to come up short, to be a 2/3, man, that
this
sucks,
man
bro.
began to labor and was not able to finish.
Bro, mocking you. We gonna mock you. You know, that's not what we want.
And that legacy is gonna follow you into the kingdom.
Yep.
You know? Man, this my dad.
Verse 14, it says, if then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them.
Because the 2/3 aren't going to fully remember you know, how bad this was. They're gonna, you know, it's gonna be a reminder, but that experience will be like, dang, you went through that? What? The white man came down on y'all with horseback and with robots and what?
The deliverance.
What's a robot? Or whatever, you know?
The deliverance is not going to be something that, okay, that just happened.
Nah.
Like, nah, that's going to be something that's spoken of.
Yeah.
But we're going to have a new, high holy day to commemorate that.
My spirit came from the elder world directly. You know? Just thinking about the glory of that. There's men that shall, what it said, that shall not sleep. Shall not taste death. The twinkle of an eye, they're going to be changed. That's a special position to have. Only a few will get, I'm talking about, if you look at the number of the people on the earth, only a few people are going to get to go that way, you know, get to translate that way. Y'all got it.
Verse 15, it says, Now therefore, why disquietest thou thyself, seeing thou art but a corruptible man? And why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal? Why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? Then answered I and said, O Lord, thou bearest rule. Thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, and hope for a while. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the while. This is the conditions of the battle. You know? It's part of the conditions of the battle.
It says if you get the victory, you shall overcome.
You shall receive the things that I say.
But if
You shall get the victory.
Yeah. I forget how the other side, if you don't, but you're going to overcome. If you can suffer, as it said.
I want to back you up. It's, Hebrews 10, I'll start at verse 35. Cast not away, therefore, your confidence, which have great recompense of reward.
Hold on. Somebody get that one in Acts.
Hey, read that again.
No, you got it.
Cast not away, therefore, your confidence, which have great recompense of reward.
Yeah, your confidence. That means that you got to be assured of what you're a part of and what you know.
Confidence goes.
What you come into, you got to be fully confident. Another word for confident is bold. All right, not fearing with man, not fearing in any of this stuff. You know what you're a part of. You know that the Lord actually, put you in this.
That's our driving force, man. That's the Lord putting that hope within us is what keeps us from stopping or going and involving ourselves in something else like the rest of the world. Because we believe, we always mention that that meme with the dude. You got one dude on top and you got one on the bottom, and they mine it. And you got the one dude who got this close to getting to the treasure. But if he was able to know, if somebody told him like, if you just keep going, you would have got to the treasure. But he gave up, man. But we not like that to them, man. Like I said, we are not like them that draw away into perdition. So we gotta keep fighting. The next verse it says, For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of the Most High, ye might receive the promise.
Every great thing comes with patience. Bodybuilding. You don't get swole two visits to the gym 1 week or whatever. 1 year. Think about that. 1 year. You don't get swole. It take a while. But that's the patience and the diligence of just doing it over and over and over. It's repetitive. It seems boring, but that patience to be able to have that dedication to something. You said you had a dope post, bro, a while back, a few months back. Might not have been last year. You said everybody hates discipline until you see what it builds, what it produces. Yeah, I was like, that was a dope. I passed that around to certain people too. It's real. I got it.
That's what the apostles always stressed, being like a stoic. The stoic is not going to complain about the conditions of his suffering.
How long,
how
hard, how hot, how cold.
They don't even talk about it. They just deal with it.
You just see the reward.
Yep. Like Job, for example. It talks about the patience of Job. He went through what he went through, But at the end, what was the results?
You see everything back. Therefore, when his rate was a result.
Dope.
When you take a look at Job's walk, and you read the first couple chapters, man, what happens? And he gets hit with hell, and hell, and hell, and hell, and hell. You know, it compounded upon itself at the same time. To the point where he was like, wait, you for real? Like, he understood that it was sent from the Lord, but he was like, is this really happening right now? Hey, but he kept his integrity, man.
They got a lot of prophecy. Revelation.
Yeah, he was, he served the Lord. He literally thought he was doing what he's supposed to do.
Job prophesied about the Bible. 41. Job 41.
And the
Okay.
Esau too.
Prophesied of, he said, my Redeemer.
Yeah, I was thinking of that.
He said, though yet worms destroyed his body, yet with my eyes shall I see the power. So he prophesied that he would be back in the last days to see the return of the Messiah, man. He was way before the Messiah's time.
Right.
He endured total hell.
He said, I wait for my change to come, basically, you know?
Prophesied to Esau again.
That's why the Lord is nigh to them that is of a contrite heart. Job was of a contrite heart because he had to endure all those afflictions. But the more he caught hell and the more he maintained his integrity, the more the Lord was dealing with him. You can see it. And then at the end, the Lord was like, all right, let's shower him with blessing.
I'm paraphrasing. It says, shall we not receive both good and bad from the Lord?
Yep.
Still in this room.
Yeah. Nigga, she turned into a straight demon, man. Oh, you ain't gonna curse the Most High. You know she fucking. You know, she was doing all that extra, man. This is our book, you know, so you know how all women are, how they act, man. You know, talking big shit. Well, you foolish bitch. That's basically what he told her, man. You foolish woman. You talk like it ain't as if the Lord haven't been providing for us.
And our women are doing that to this day. They cursing the Most High. Them little bitches with the tight head wraps say that they used to be down or whatever. They're the ones that's in that same lot, talking shit. They don't have the vision that the men have. That's why the Lord is dealing with the men. Okay. Got it.
Acts 14 and 22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai.
It says gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You gotta be made gold, you know? You gotta be tried in the fires and the tribulations. You know?
I gotta agree. This is, you see that one, bro? I have St. John 16 and 33. These things have I spoken, Yahweh Shai speaking. These things have I spoken unto you, that ye may have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. You have tribulation in this world, in this walk. You know, each brother's walk is different than the next brother, but don't think that brother's hell is different than yours. Y'all both going through hell. You know, it's just catered. The Most High and catered it to your to you, specifically for you.
Hell is hell.
Yeah, hell is hell. You know.
2 Timothy 2, verse, I'll start at verse 8. It's in NLT. It says, always remember that Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, a descendant of King David, was raised from the dead. This is the good news I preach. And because I preach this good news, I'm suffering. And I've been chained like a criminal.
It's like he said, because I preach this good news, I am suffering. Right? Because when you become a servant of Yahweh Shem Shai, he opens your eyes and you become a target. Right? And into what? Into really everything. Everything that's adverse unto Yahweh Shem Shai targets you. Satan, and we just went about speaking of our forefather Job, how the Lord ultimately allowed him to be a target to tempt him, to put hails on him so that he could magnify Yahweh Shem Shai. So you're going to get tempted in the spirit, you're going to be tempted in the flesh, and your own mind is going to fight against you. Because what? You're fighting for something, establishing righteousness, man. He that, what is it? How does it go? he that departed from evil making himself a prey. No paraphrasing.
I might add to your point. Like it's putting things into perspective because the elder read earlier how the wicked suffer straight things, which is those difficult things, the suffering, but they shall not see the wise. So at the end of the day, everybody's gonna suffer, but there's a reason behind. There's two reasons to suffer. You have to choose. You either gonna suffer for the Lord for standing on righteousness, or you gonna suffer for your own doings.
It says, I am suffering and have been chained like a criminal, but the word of the Most High cannot be chained. So I am willing to endure anything if it will bring salvation and eternal glory in Hamashiach Yahushua to those the Most High has chosen.
And he didn't say for himself. He's thinking about the greater good. Yeah. Hey, not being self-centered is what our people are really about. Being selfish is not what our people are about. This world, this dog-eat-dog world, is set up so you're supposed to be internal, me, consume. You're never thinking about everybody else. That's why we wear the fringes in the first place. In the word of Luke, it ain't for us to look upon, but for the next man to also to be looked upon and be remembered to hold to that covenant. Okay? And everything we look up is set up and it separates us from everybody else as well.
Yeah, like we come into this thing and we learn not to do everything based on your own self-interest. We prefer to one another because we're part of a body. And Yahushua actually died for that body. So you have to have the same care for your neighbor as you would yourself. That's the whole essence of the commandment. Love thy neighbor as thyself. You know, that's what he said. If Yahushua had that selfish attitude that our people have, he wouldn't have got on that cross. He wouldn't have allowed the Romans to roll up on him. He wouldn't have allowed them to pierce him.
He had the power to stop.
He would have actually, yeah. He would have been able to take down the Romans 2,000 years ago. You know?
There would be no joint heirs.
No.
We have to be partakers of his afflictions. So we have to go through this process. We have to be in the like mind. You know, that's why let's say charity covered the multitude of sin. This is charity to be able to do good. To be able to look out for your neighbor or your brother. You know. Anyway, y'all got it.
Continuing on, it says, verse 11. It says, "This is a trustworthy saying: if we die with him, we will also live with him. If we endure hardship, we will reign with him. If we deny him, he will deny us. If we are unfaithful, he remains faithful, for he cannot deny who he is." Yeah, man. So hey, even if we were to give up and stop enduring and choose our flesh and save ourselves and go back and try to be comfortable and all that, guess what? Yahushua was still obedient to the cross. He still did his job. So you would have to answer for your lack of care, your lack of obedience, your lack of faith. You know? Because if we endure hardship, we will reign with him. So that's the reward. I'm gonna share because y'all endured what I had to endure, everything that I inherited, I'm gonna share that with y'all. Y'all joint heirs with it. He gonna inherit the heathen. Guess what? The heathen is y'all inheritance too. You know?
This is Hebrews 2. I'm gonna start here at verse 8. It says, "Thou hast put all things in subjection under his feet, for in that he put all in subjection under him, he left nothing that is not put under him. But now we see not yet all things put under him. But we see Yahushua, who was made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he, by the grace of the Most High Yahweh, should taste death for every man. For it became him, for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons unto glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings."
Hey.
It said,
Only when you
battle to do it. You get to the top. Do you feel like you really earned it? And you're gonna truly appreciate it? You give a, you know, we all know this now. You give a kid a toy, they're like, but if they have to do something to earn it, they appreciate it way more. Especially, all right, you did a good job. Now pick what you want. Huh? Yeah, whatever the task is. After they endure and go through it and accomplish it, or get what you want, they're gonna cherish that damn toy, whatever it was. They're gonna treat it with real care.
It says, "And bringing many sons unto glory." Yeah. And that's how I just picture it. It's like each brother is holding on, you know, to Yahweh Shai, right? As he's moving, and you gotta move with him. It's not like he's just dragging you there. No, you gotta walk with him, man. You know, and ultimately you walking with him and holding on to him as you're going through the hells that he went through. Hey, then you'll enter into that kingdom with him. But if you just decide to let go, it's like you taking your hand off that plow.
It's like you're not putting your trust in Yahweh Shai. He's telling you to go this way, you go that way.
That's a good point you made. You said the Lord, it's like we holding on to the Lord, but he's not going to drag you. The scripture says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. So like that's a good point. We have to hold on.
Yeah, hold fast to that which is good. That's a commandment, man. Yeah.
But Yahweh Shai was the ultimate guy because he went through his hour of temptation. He went through what we're about to go through. So who better to know? Who better to follow? Yahweh Shai.
It's like I might say, his whole ministry would have been null and void if he faltered at the last minute. If he did all that sermon, all the teaching in the synagogues, all the miracles that he was performing, only to get to that point when the Romans rolled up on him, and if he would have just been like, nah, I can't do this, I can't do it, that would have his whole ministry null and void. So just imagine we out here and we've been doing this for years, some of us going on 2 decades, and then when the moment comes, and then you just all of a sudden just, I can't do it. I love my life. Look, just picture that. Now you fucked up the whole purpose of why you even did what you did. Now you're not getting saved. You just denied the Lord. So now the Lord's got to deny you before the Father now. And whatever you try to save yourself for, you're gonna lose it any damn way.
You know? The other aspect of losing, you mentioned losing faith, but also you can get carnal. Like when Yahweh Shai, when they came to apprehend him, he said, y'all see me daily in the temple.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, y'all didn't get me then.
Yeah. That's the same thing that we gonna be faced with as well, man. You know, you can be tempted with getting carnal and wanting to shoot it out with them instead of just trusting in the Lord, letting them take you and just going along with the process, letting the Lord, you know, guide you. Because he could have been like, man, no, fuck that.
Every time y'all rolled up on us, y'all saw we just had Bibles in our backpacks. Every time y'all rolled up on us, you see garments, you see incense, you know, you see beaded necklaces, coconut water for hydration. You didn't see us out here with guns and bulletproof vests.
Or inciting anything.
Yeah, we wasn't starting riots. We let people walk by, you know. Yeah, man. But they you know, the Lord was blameless. We got to be blameless. They're gonna have to, you know, do some AI shit on us. That's the only way. Twist words that we've said in the past and use it against us. That's all they would have.
When they do that, your natural instinct is to what? Try to defend yourself. To say, that wasn't me, but at the end of the day, what's that gonna do? What's that gonna prove? They gonna prove shit. So, hey, whatever they say, whatever they do to us, hey, if you understand, it ain't their will, it's the will of the Lord. So it's the will that it's the Lord's will that the persecution is coming. It comes. It's going to come. You know?
They say anyway, who shall lay anything to the charge of the Lord's elect?
And when they do come in like a flood, like it says, what's the scripture say? The Lord is going to lift up that standard against him. So we got the scriptures, we got the prophecies to back us. You know? So, hey, we even welcome them to come in because we know what the Lord's going to do for those that are true and faithful to him. They are sincere, I'll say that. Because you got a lot of Israelites out there that's really not sincere. That, you know, when shit really hit the fan, when shit go down, they gonna run. They gonna hightail it out of there. When the men of the Lord, the true men of the Lord, gonna stand firm for the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai and the doctrine.
You got certain Israelite camps that are out there running boot camp drills and shit. They have the gun range. They're preparing as if nothing divine is going to come behind this ministry. It's like they're preparing themselves as if divine intervention is not going to happen, power is not going to come, the chariots are not going to show up, or some just in case shit.
Well, they believe that though.
Yeah.
When you hear what the leaders of their camp say, oh, if we catch you using what's that word? Catch you using wisdom, you out of here. That was what that nigga said verbatim. And yes, he's a nigga for saying that, man.
All of these niggas.
They said they serve a nigga God. They said this is what they say themselves. If we catch you using wisdom, talking about the principal thing, the foundation of the belief, you know, with faith.
I was gonna say, so you think the Lord is gonna stand for them, as it says in Daniel 12:1, stand for the Michael the Archangel is gonna stand for them in that day?
I got a quick one. Sirach 2, and I start at 12. Woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways.
That sounds like a coward to me, but yeah, they say they're not. We're no cowards. That's describing a coward right there. You finally get to the moment, and all of a sudden you just change your tune, your energy.
You know why that's
you don't
gonna
have
happen?
the same energy.
That's gonna happen because they're not preparing themselves. They're not
in the straight gate.
Right.
Not going through the straight gate.
It says, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. Be faint-hearted means to be weak-minded, man. Like the brother just said, man, you're not preparing yourself right now. You're supposed to be in the spiritual mindset. All that carnal, the scriptures tell you, man. This is a reference for everything that we have a question about. Everything, it's a guidance unto us. You're not supposed to get carnal, man. It's not going to work.
Be carnally minded is death.
You know, that's what the devil wants. He wants us to have guns and plan and, you know, do all this extra shit that we know hasn't worked in the past and the damn sure ain't gonna work in this time.
Too late anyway, man. You can't train hard enough. You ain't even got enough time, man. Esau been training, so you already lost.
Esau was given a sword, you know what I'm saying? He was given the word of the Lord, the spirit, you know what I'm saying? So we gotta use the spirit rather than the sword. You know, that's not gonna get us nowhere. You know? The words is what we use. It says we're supposed to be the word is why is something not done, but the word is supposed to be the comfort, it's supposed to be protection, you know what I'm saying, in the last days. Not the sword.
To come back to what you're saying, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of God. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh shall be the strength of those that run into it are safe.
You think that if you ain't been practicing faith, and you ain't been praying in those names, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, it just ain't gonna come to you, you know. If you got a fight or a boxing match or a game coming up and you ain't been studying, I mean you ain't been practicing, you ain't been in the gym, you think you about to go in there with pound for pound dude and a guy and work him? No, you gonna get your ass whooped.
Mike Tyson, the heaviest knockout guy, you know, one of the major knockout guys in boxing, he didn't prepare for that Buster Douglas fight and lost. He didn't train the proper way. When at the height of his career, knocking everybody. You don't see third round against Mike Tyson. You don't see the third round straight up, and then he gets knocked out. Hey, that's how this can be. Okay, it's important that you consider it that way. This is the training ground. If you don't prepare your mind for the war, the battle you're about to go through, how you gonna be ready?
Make yourself back to the gospel. I got it.
That's why Paul also said that you can't be entangled with the affairs of this life if you're trying to be a soldier in this thing. The things of this world will soften you up because your mind is going elsewhere. You know. What about my needs? What about my children? What about my woman? What about my... You can't think about that in a time of war, or even when you're training for war. You can't think about that. That's why the Lord says, "Seek ye the kingdom of the Most High, and all these things shall be added unto you." You ain't worried about that stuff. You thinking about that? That soften you up. You know. You start to falter. You start getting a little weak, faint-hearted. Because those are the things that's going to be targeted, just to put you through the test. The very things that you hold dear to yourself in this world, and Satan's going to target that, just like he did Job.
A soldier, you can't be worried about the things that's happening at home, right? They have to be worried about the battle. Right. You can get distracted.
The brother wanted me to grab Matthew 16 and verse 25. For whomsoever will save his life shall lose it. 24, okay. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me.
The cross represents accepting suffering, affliction, and ultimately death. Right?
What are you denying? You're denying your desires, as well as your fears.
You gotta deal with those fears.
Your flesh.
It's separating your wants from your needs. You know, and the things that you need, we know that Yahweh Shema Shai is going to provide for you. You know, as long as you handling your business. You're handling his business. Verse 25, for whomsoever will save his life shall lose it, and whomsoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it.
You got to be ready to, lose your life, because you know the resurrection. You know what's going to happen on the other side. This present life is not the beginning or not the end where much glory may abide. Right? So on the other side, that's where you can get everything you want. That's why you seek the kingdom of heaven first, then all those things will be added unto you. That's where you'll get the glory and everything that you really want. It's in the kingdom of heaven, but it's not here. Everything here is corrupted.
Desires of our heart.
You don't just, like these modern women, you don't just be entitled to shit. You don't just be entitled to anything. You have to earn it with what you receive. Everything is earned. You put in the heart. You paying the bills, that's because you going your ass to work. You know? You able to support yourself, you able to, do some of the things that you like to do because you can afford to. That's because you get up every morning and bust your ass all week. Whether you feel like it or not. You're doing it, but the moment you say, man, I'm tired of this shit, man. I just want to sleep in now. I don't want to go back. Well, okay, you could do that, but guess what? You ain't finna pay your bills no more. You can't go get nothing to eat. You can't, go take your girl to get a bite. You can't do none of that no more. Everything it requires, effort. You have to earn it, man. You don't receive for doing nothing. Like it says in Romans about when you have the experience, then you have hope. But you can't have hope if you ain't went through the experience. Because what is
Romans 3, Romans 4. All right, Romans 5. Romans 5 and verse 3. And not only so, but we glory in tribulation also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience.
Like he said, tribulation worketh patience, man. Because when you're in the midst of whatever hell that the Lord is taking you through, and you can't rush it, you know, you just gotta sit there, man. Sit there and deal with it. That's why the scripture saying your patience possesses your souls, man. Because you have no control over what you have no control over, man. Ultimately, you understand that the Lord is bringing that hardship or that test upon you, and you praying. You can pray. You're supposed to be praying. Hey, but you praying, the Lord don't speed it up just because you're praying. You still gotta go through it, man.
Sometimes, like me personally, I say the Wadi Hamashikah shot because I know that when you get them scores, you know he's dealing with you. You know, he's correcting you. He's trying to build your faith. You know, so he can deal with you more. You know, but sometimes I pray for patience. Then a situation comes where I gotta use patience, and then I be quick to not use patience. So the Lord's always testing you to putting you through these, like I'll say it like this, small quizzes, pop quizzes every day to build your faith, to build your patience.
Patience is the will to endure hardship and difficulty. That's the definition of it. So the more you try, the more you build up that patience, the more you build up being able to endure certain things.
Got the word faith on her shirt. She ain't got it, but it's for us, man. No, I'm serious, it's for us. The Lord gets forth the signs. Just talking, hey, that's the main thing. Without faith, it's impossible to please Him, man. Right? So, hey, the Lord just showing signs. You know, you just use her as nevertheless.
I'll read it again. Romans 5:3. And not only so, but we glory in tribulation also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. And hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of the Most High is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit, which is given unto us.
Now, what does that word experience mean? It means to test. It means to be tested. You know? And yeah, hey, wisdom is going to try you. Does it not say that? She gonna put fear and dread upon you until she may trust your soul. You gonna every day, yeah, it's gonna be some type of test, little tests, big tests, but it's all to keep you prepared now
and humble.
And humble too, yeah.
And humble, because that's everything that we're going into, right? A Stoic, we're going to the very definition of being a Stoic. Like you mentioned, the ability to go through those hardships, that suffering, but without the complaining, without the murmuring. You know, you enduring it. Ultimately, patience is acceptance. When you being patient, you accepted your condition. I got real quick, Sirach 2:1 in the GNT. My child, if you are going to serve the Lord, be prepared for times when you will be put to the test. Be sincere and determined. Keep calm when trouble comes.
Yahweh Shai, I think I called for that. 1 Peter 2. I think around the 20th verse. 1 Peter 2 and 20.
Now this 1 Peter 2. 1 Peter 2 and 21. Yep. It says, for even hereunto were ye called, because Yahweh Shai also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps, who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth, who, when he was reviled not again, when he suffered, he threatened not.
When he suffered, he threatened not.
Yeah. And he had the power to.
Yeah.
Hey, and that's one thing, like, you gotta realize too, not saying brothers don't understand it, but when the Lord gives you the capability or makes you able to do something and you fight against it, for example, Moses, right? You understand Moses was in the house of Pharaoh. He grew up with the riches, he grew up with the status, right? So him forsaking it shows how greater that faith was for him to leave it. Yahweh Shai had the power to destroy the Roman Empire. He had the power to fight against the individuals that came up against him. Hey, but he just accepted it, man. That shows, I believe the word is resolve, you know? So that, going back into this here, it says 1 Peter 2 and 23, it says, who when he was reviled not again, When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judges righteously.
That's scary. All he thought about was, hey, man, I still have my cross. I gotta bear. I can't, I can't just think about myself. It was written of me to go through this. So he had to accept it. He had to take it. And after that, what did the Lord say when he was getting ready to give up the ghost? It's finished. I did it. I did my job.
He knew he
finally done. That's how you feel at the end of your shift. As soon as you clock out, another day, another day gone.
Hey, don't it feel like when you get off, like that first hour, you get the boost energy?
Man.
You crash after that.
Yeah, man.
You get home, you sit down, it's through.
Well, especially when you get through another week.
Yeah.
Just that last day of the week, you ain't got to go to work the next day, so you just like, man, another week. I put my hours in, I did what I was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
Looking forward to that payout too.
Yeah, man. Then you get paid. So Yahweh Shai, he was finished, and then he went back to the spiritual realm. Then he was glorified. After that was the glory.
Now he's waiting.
The highest place of honor, man, is to sit on the right hand of the throne of the Most High. You know?
Now, I'm gonna finish this real quick. It's end of 1 Peter 2 and 24. It says, who his own self bare our sins in his own body on the tree, that we, being dead to sins, should live unto righteousness, by whose stripes ye were healed.
Let me read this real quick. It's like,
James 1 and 2 in the NLT. Dear brothers and sisters, when trouble of any kind comes your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow.
Read that again.
Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow.
Take this thing day by day. Day by day. You say, when you wake up, hey, thank y'all for allowing you to call upon his name, man. Just that in itself. Being thankful to call upon his name, being thankful for the movement of your limbs, you know? Yeah, you should thank him every day for that, man. Hey, you don't know how much something important is until you know how the ability to use it.
like the smallest thing. Like you always say that not having a big toe, throw your whole shit off, right?
Fucking all up, man. Hey, when going through that mouth, wisdom, bro, not being able to talk. Oh, fuck, bro.
Bro, there's people out there with no eyelash. You think that's something small, but it's, you don't know how much that helps, bro. Especially in a place like Nevada.
Yes. Let me read the next verse. Verse 4.
So let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing.
Like for example, you in the gym, you're just getting it in, right? You start to notice after a while, you keep hitting the same weights. You don't feel you really don't feel no growth.
There's no resistance.
There's no resistance at all. So it's like, well, I'm not getting anywhere. But the moment you increase your weights and then start doing repetitions with increased weights, you start to feel something. You start to feel a newfound soreness that you didn't feel. You're going through it, but you're like, man. But then at the end, the results is what? Muscle gain. Your performance is different now. You know? You can handle, more resistance now. Because your muscle now has been trained to deal with more resistance.
More stress.
More stress. So now you can handle more. You know? So it's the same thing every time you're dealing with these different temptations.
You know what? To your point of lifting weights, what it does, lifting weights, it builds your recovery time. So when shit get really tough, you'll be able to handle calamity after calamity without faltering. Because like just like lifting weights, you lift weights, okay, then you have a 30. You start with a minute rest in between reps, and you work your way up to 30 seconds. So that builds your recovery time. Just like when you catch a hell, it's like damn, you didn't